Today is October 22nd, I think, and the Yankees are down 3-0. Let's talk all about it. Hell yeah. What's going on, everybody? I am in my car, so my audio probably sounds terrible for those that are on the podcast only, audio only version and aren't watching, and it's not clear. I'm in my car. Driving home from the game still. Traffic was terrible, and I just want to get this over with. Jake, you're home.
Jimbo, BBD, everyone joining us right now. How about it? As bad as it gets. That's the phrase that when I'm at the stadium, I don't check my phone like I normally do. I'm not as active on Twitter. I'm not texting. That, I was doing like a catch up after, and replying to people. And the phrase that I kept typing out was as bad as it gets. I tweeted out before the game, this is if you're the Yankees, you have to win this for a lot of reasons. I mean, obviously in a 7-game set, you go down 3-0. That's sure. It's the one team that you knew was going to be there all year. It was the one team that is going to be there for the last 6 years. And to have the opening drop homer, and to go with one hit through 8 innings, and just, some of the most uninspiring baseball you'll see in October in the Bronx. And I want to give a little shout out to the crowd, because I thought the crowd was going to be scared going in, because they kind of should be, right? Like, Houston's really good, and we could be seeing our team die in front of us. And we ended up seeing that. The team rang the bell at 5 p.m. The fans were ready to go, and there was an excitement that I didn't think was going to be in the air, and then it was gone, and then it was all gone.
SeatGeek is bringing you this whole postseason code JohnBoy Playoffs. Get you 10% off any ticket if you want to be part of the next great crowd. And also go to DraftKings and bet on the Yankees to win all of the next 4 games, because they're definitely going to do that, and it's a real smart bet.
Hey, if you want to win some real money, you hammer the Yanks right now, because it's not looking great. And DraftKings is the official betting partner of the World Series, where the Yankees will probably be. And when you bet $5 on any team to win a World Series game, you will get $200 in free bets if they do. So, I mean, let's go Yanks. They've got their same game parlays that are super easy to do and use. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use promo code JohnBoy and bet $5 to win $200 in free bets if your team wins. Only at DraftKings Sportsbook with promo code JohnBoy. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. See show notes for details. MLB trademarks used with permission. Jim.
Dude, I listened to a lot of the post-game show as I was driving home. Michael K going in on Boone. All of them kind of going in. Michael going really hard, which I want everyone to remember when they're going to be like, oh, yes, network, not hard on the Yankees. Like, they're probably being meaner to the Yankees than the Astros post-game. So it's kind of cool that they're so honest and K's going in. But down 3-0. If I'm a doomer and they come back and win, and I look like the guy that didn't believe, I think I'm okay with that. I mean, it's hard to believe. I don't think I have it blindly optimistic. It's just not who I am. And that being said, I'm kind of like done, and I don't want to digest this game and talk about how Boone shouldn't have taken Cole out. And if he does take Cole out, he shouldn't go to the 4th reliever on the list. Like, whatever. My brain is into just much bigger picture topics, but I guess we have another game tomorrow that we're having a live event for. It's going to be like a funeral that we're all attending together, or a resurrection. I don't know. What do you want to talk about, Jake? Because we didn't really discuss this before the episode, but do you want to talk about the Bader play? And
we should talk about this game. The Yankee season isn't over, although it is, and we're gonna have a lot of time to talk about a lot of the big stuff. I mean, I know it's started getting discussed in the stands, and Rizzo opt out, and Judge, and all the stuff that we didn't think we'd have to talk about yet. We were wondering if we had to start talking about. And for everyone that rolls through tomorrow, me and Jimmy, I think we pride ourselves as men of faith, and there's a fly ball. No,
I'm not a man of faith.
I think we're like, damn, like, should we almost like cancel the event? Like, Yankees down 3-0. We're going to have a fun fucking time. So if you're there, whether it's laughing or crying, we're going to get through it. But yeah, I mean, there is some big picture stuff that, it's tough not to talk about. That being said, they came into this night. The Garrett Cole looked locked in early. The stadium vibes were good. And then that dropped fly ball. My goodness. Everyone got tricked because it's Judge and Bader. So those are, the Yankees' two best fielders on the field. And it's a pretty routine fly ball and snakes. Judge goes in front of Bader, which, it seemed like it was Judge's ball. Judge cuts in front, but he pulls back, and then Bader's behind it. It gets to Bader's glove, and it looked like he caught it. He did not. Even Vasquez thought he caught it. He started walking off the field, and it was just, if you watch a lot of baseball games, if something like that happens, something else is going to happen. And a ball that bounces off of the top of the short porch. Home run, 2-0. And when you have an offense that's anemic, that was game.
Yeah, the post-game interviews are frustrating. They asked Bader about, what happened on that error. And he said, what error? What? And they were like, and they said the drop ball. And he said, the ball that was between Judge and I? Like, what? He said, that's what happens. It's a perfectly placed ball between the two of us. And it's a loud crowd because it's a good atmosphere. And that's what happens. And, that just happens. And they asked Judge, and he goes, yeah, we both called it. I heard him. I tried to get out of the way, but I didn't get out of the way fast enough. That's on me. I take full responsibility. Center fielder's got priority on that ball, and I gotta get out of the way better. It's like, oh my God, what a difference of Judge and Stan, the only interviews that take accountability, and Cole actually at all. I mean, Donaldson's interview today was awful, but yeah, I mean, they asked Judge if the crowd noise was a factor, and he was like, no, not at all. Bader was like fully crowd noise. It's like, what?
Doesn't seem to be a factor for the other teams we're playing.
No. And then there's one reporter, I don't know who it is, but every player that got interviewed after the game got asked the question. The crowd turned on you and started booing and left. How does that feel? So he must be writing an article about Yankees fans. And Bader and Donaldson, a lot of the other people, they said, and Bader said, I only focus on what happens in the dugout or in between the white lines. So I don't know. I didn't even notice. And it's like, well, dude, you just blame the crowd noise on everything else. So you can't say it both ways. Anyway, they dropped that ball. What's really heartbreaking, Jake, is that he rushes to throw into Glaber, and you get it because it's on the ground, and Glaber can't scoop it. And if that's a good throw or Glaber picks it, it's a lob to first to get the runner who had come off the bag. And I'm not blaming anyone there because that's just weird. But when I watched the replay, it was like kind of double heartbreaking. Like, if the throw in from the outfield is just caught, you have him because he thought he was out.
Yeah. And I mean, there's some artistic brilliance to it that it's Christian Vasquez who, The stats never seem to match what the effect it feels like he had in a lot of those Red Sox games, and now here he is with Houston. And the bigger storyline, because we could do off season and roster construction and all of it, and we can rehash like we have all year. Cole Cole making the mistake after a mistake, like he doesn't get full forgiveness on that homer ball at all. He should be out of an inning in a playoff game, and adrenaline. We talked about all that, but you still you can't just do that. But when was the last time the offense hit?
Everything comes down to the offense. There's a lot of really frustrating things. We were talking to Rucco and some other people, and you kept everything we said that was a frustrating thing about the Yankees and the decision making. Every conversation ended with, but they don't hit anyway, so what matters?
Nothing.
No hits.
It's and man, I think another part of the reason we're so bummed out and everyone's bummed out. We tonight had a chance to be really cool. We were with Cole Tucker, who's just an awesome dude in general, and his first time to New Yankee Stadium, and then we ended up in a suite with Andrew McCutchen.
I don't want to hear that.
What are you talking about? People love the experience and love being with us. Like, yeah, man. We got to see Coney and Rucco, and yeah, man, everyone's Yankees takes end up in the same spot. That things are bad. Some of the glaring stuff that we've harped at through the years, and some of the miscommunications in the front office, and how that goes to the players, that this team, it ain't it, man.
They have no identity. Like the Guardians had an identity. The Astros have an identity. The Yankees' identity all season was Judge, and he was the MVP, and he's awesome. But instead of they kind of figured it out. They like the other teams figured it out, Jake. Whereas for the Astros, it's Jordan. He's the big bad guy, right? So the Yankees, they're getting him out. Altuve's not getting on. Well, they're still winning. The whole team's picking up the weight. And I think what the Astros and maybe even the Guardians figured out is, hey, instead of pitching around Judge and allowing his teammates to pick him up, if you go at Judge and you get him out, the whole thing crumbles. Like, that's the structure of the rest of the offense. And if you take that out, they got no leg to stand on. That's what's kind of happening. And that was the identity of the Yankees offense all regular season. And now it's gone. And it's a team sport. So I'm not saying it's on Judge. I'm saying that's kind of how they built it. So it would be on Judge, which isn't great. Like the all year it was Judge and whoever's hot. All right, IKF's going through a good stretch. DJ's going through a good stretch. Well, now it's Rizzo supporting Judge. Well, now it's Donaldson supporting Judge and Glaber. Now Stan's back. So it was always Judge and whoever's hot. And take Judge away, no one's hot.
And it's funny, and in hindsight, and now seeing how the series has developed, the game that the Yankees had the best chance to win was game one, where they came in. They had been playing baseball 4 games in a row. Houston hadn't played, so I think that's, the rest was there. The Yankees were running hot after beating the Guardians. They had Verlander on the ropes. They had Donaldson and Carpenter up. Runners on second and third, 1 out. With 1 fly ball, you would have taken the lead on Verlander in the 4th or 5th inning or whatever it was. Instead, you had 2 of the worst at-bats ever, and you went to your backup bullpen, and you didn't play your best lineup. That, if you had stolen game 1, how do the next 2 games end up? Probably similar to this, honestly, because they're just getting mowed down. But, man, I think your best chance was that first game, and now you have to look back in hindsight and say we didn't put our best foot forward in an ALCS game. That might have been our best chance to win. I mean, that's the toughest one for me to look in the mirror about.
Who came out of the bullpen in game 2?
It was the plan. It was Lasagna to Wandy to Holmes, right? Or Lasagna to Wandy. Clay Holmes was getting up.
and Loizaga came in the middle of the inning, right?
I believe so. Yes. Yes.
Okay, so in this series, you have three different shortstops, in 3 games, 3 different shortstops, 3 different leadoff men, and 3 different firemen out of the bullpen. Ridiculous, dude. You don't win without an identity, without knowing who your team is or what it is. It's nuts. They got Trevino up in game 1 to be the fireman with runners on, and then they brought Clark in instead. Failed. Then in game 2, they go with the right path and they get Loizaga out there, and that's the right decision. And then in game 3, I don't think they should have pulled Cole because it's basically an elimination game, and you ride your ace until he's tapped out. Like CC Sabathia in 2012 had bases loaded in a 2-run game in the 8th inning at like 98 or 100 pitches, and they were like, dude, you're our guy. If you don't do this, no one's doing it. And you pull Cole at 95 pitches when he really wasn't even getting beat that bad. So that's one thing. But then to bring him in, you bring in Loizaga. Okay, he's a sinker ball thrower. He can get ground balls, and he's your best reliever to come out first. Or even Clay Holmes, a sinker baller. They go with Trevino, who's their 4th best reliever, also a sinker baller. Sure, he threw all sliders. And that's the disconnect that I've been fucking so frustrated with all season is, dude, if Trevino's in there to roll the 2-ball, how come we're calling sliders that are liftable pitches? They both get lifted, all the runs score. If you're shifting this way with a sinker baller up, why is he throwing outside sinkers to lefties and they're beating the shift? Like nothing is in sync. There's no communication. There's no one adhesive, like solid goal or mission. There's a bunch of parts going different directions. Like, why is he throwing sliders when he's trying to get a ground ball? It makes no sense.
It's an organizational thing. We know how they make their decisions, and you have different people pushing different things that's how you get stuff going in different directions. And that's how you get those disconnects that you're talking about. And, you know, a lot of these decisions aren't up to the cuts. And if you're looking to get up to cuts, go cuts.
Go cuts.
Guys, there's no one I know who has more style than the pros. Hey, the boys look good when they're not hitting. Cuts makes custom apparel, and there's a couple ball players. Bryce Harper having a huge night. He's a big cuts guy. Walker Buehler, Mariano Rivera. That guy was up to the cut. Cuts is designed to provide perfectly tailored fit, and they're insanely comfortable. They have the essentials for looking sharp, including tees, hoodies, polos. So why don't you join the thousands of men that have already made the simple decision to elevate their wardrobe? Get 15% off your first order by going to cutsclothing.com/Yanks. That's Cuts, CUTS clothing.com/Yanks. 15% off. Thanks, Cuts.
Thanks, Cuts.
I'm not much to talk about on the offensive side, huh?
No, they asked Donaldson what he thinks is, giving him such a hard time and leading to the struggles. And he said, I actually like my at-bats. No accountability, dog. Like, no accountability. Harrison Bader said something about how there's, in a 5-game, 7-game series, it's a small sample size. What's with this excuse, dude? That came with analytics that the playoffs is just a scrap shoot and it's whatever. You can't really control it. Whatever happens in the playoffs happens. Bullshit. The Astros have never lost a 5-game series, and they win a lot of the 7-game ones too. I hate this. It's the analytical nerds that are like, you build yourself for the regular season, and the playoffs is a scrap shoot. Build yourself for the fucking playoffs like the Astros do. They got contact hitters that also slug. You know what the Yankees did? They got 3 contact hitters, IKF, DJ, Benintendi. You had to bench one because he doesn't slug nor play defense. The other 2 got hurt. But, I don't know, find some players who can do a little bit of both because the Astros got a whole lineup of them.
Yeah.
Build yourself for the playoffs. It's not a foreign concept. Play your guys in one position all year and give the guys that you think will be in the postseason there. Like, I understand injuries happen, but they're I'm sick of that thought process. And like to hear the players say it is like, what the fuck?
Right. Like even in your heart of hearts, if you have an analytics person that's awesome at running a franchise and like they can't get over their analytical hurdle of like, well, anything can happen in a small sample size. That's how my brain works. That's all right, dude. You're an analytics nerd and maybe you're killing it on some other stuff, but athletes, like that's not the mindset. Like, isn't that why we idolize Jordan? Isn't that why we idolize Jeter? That like every day that they're going out and they're gonna kill. Like it's not odds. Like you think MJ like looked at Ray Allen and was like, I guess if Ray Allen gets hot, he could beat me. No, man, he's out to kill.
And yeah, you're supposed to have the analytical people that are helping and they can have that mindset. But to hear the players be like, playoffs are a crapshoot. It's like, what, dude? That's when you're supposed to like at least want to take charge and ownership and like fucking hold yourself accountable for dominating that and not being like, whatever, dude, we got here. Now all we can do is roll the dice. It's like, what a terrible mindset.
Because and know what should be the trump card that should be played as we try to cancel that line of thinking. If whoever goes on to win the World Series, when they get the World Series, they don't say, well, it could go either way. But no, they say we were the fucking best. They say we dominated. We're nasty. We can't be beat. We're gross. Are you kidding me? Though my guys, like we can't be beat. They don't say, well, flip a coin. This year we got lucky. No. So that is one of the disconnects that we know is currently happening within the Yankees, analytically and how they measure players. We heard different rumors about the IKF benching and who was giving him votes yes and who was giving him votes no. And I mean, it's stuff that like it's eye-opening, weird, like sad stuff that they're doing that to IKF, to the team, sure, to everyone, to fans. You're
exactly right. The more we learn about that system that they do, and like it's a vote, it makes so much sense why there's no cohesion, because it's not like two dudes who agree pulling the strings or one guy saying this is the way we do it. It's okay, some votes go this way, some votes go that way, and on this guy we're going to run it this way, and that guy we're going to run it that way, and there's no cohesion. Or maybe like, I don't know, man.
I got it. I was looking for the weird J comparison and I found it. It's like we are getting a salad and we take a vote and we're like, yeah, we want chicken, right? And you get like 9 out of 11 votes. Someone was like, one person with steak, one person doesn't eat it. But you're like, all right, we're getting that many chickens. And then, you're adding stuff to it and you get some different votes. You're not getting your perfect salad or where you want the salad to go. And by the end, someone says like, I got 4 votes for cilantro dressing. Can we push it? And you're like, dude, now this salad's fucking disgusting. I don't want that.
They don't even know the end goal, right? So they're voting and they don't know they're building a salad, but they're like, all right, chicken or whatever, choose a meat. And chicken gets the most votes. And then they're like, choose a sauce, but they're separate from each other. They don't know they're connected. And everyone's like, I like steak sauce. And then all of a sudden their meals come to dinner and they're like, what the fuck? We got a chicken with steak sauce salad? They're like, well, yeah, that's the way the vote went. That's what the people wanted. And it's like, well, wait, whoa. Those were for the same thing. And that's what happens when you have 3 different leadoff hitters, 3 different shortstops, 3 different firemen, and you bring a guy in to get ground ball outs and he throws a fly ball pitch. What? All those votes are for the same thing? It's like, what are you guys doing? Get together and make a solid plan.
Yeah.
It's a mess.
Meanwhile, on the other side, Altuve, Pena, Alvarez, Bregman, Gurriel. You know, they mix things up in center. They threw Trey Mancini in there today, sure. But I mean, because you can't eat the same meal every time. That gets overwhelming. So they added a lime. They were like, ooh, Trey Mancini, how about a little lime today? And if you like it, you're like, ooh, I'm going to put the lime back in that damn salad. That was good. But then you're like, I'm having too much lime. I'm gonna put one of these other Mauricio Dubon, get in there, knock yourself out. But the main part, Gurriel, Tucker, Bregman, Alvarez, Pena, Altuve, they do their part. And again, it almost becomes useless when you remember they had one hit in 8 innings.
And they're all doing the same thing at the box, you know? Where like Donaldson's taking his A swing every single time. Rizzo's hunting off speed. Gleyber's hunting fastballs.
It's the analytic approach, right?
These guys are jumping pitches. These guys are working counts.
If you keep taking your A swing, the results show that your stats will land here eventually. But
he's happy with his results.
I mean, that's frightening. So yeah, I don't know. What else do we need to hit?
Watch party tomorrow. We'll be streaming. It'll be fun. And we'll see how that goes.
Funeral.
Beebs, we miss anything else? What do you got, Beebs?
I think we hit everyone we need to. Stanton played left field in the stadium for the first time since 2019.
I think my computer might die. I thought this charger worked, but I don't think it does anymore.
It's all right.
Yeah, Stan made a mistake, which led to a run. He threw to the wrong base. I love Stan, and he's accountable, but he shouldn't have done that.
Got the charger in at 1%. She was about to shut off.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's I wish I could talk more about Stanton left, but it doesn't. Again, that's just another disconnected part of the joint that, you know, it's funny when everyone balls were in the vice, they said, yeah, let's put him out there. But in September, in September and August, it was never on the table, was it? But if you're going to do it in October, you need to find out in the regular season. And the fact that that's a foreign concept is just bizarre.
I'd love to see the honest book and be like, all right, well, who decided that Stan wasn't going to play left at all, but then in the play, like, okay, well, that was actually the scouting department. They outvoted everyone on that. Okay, well, who decided Peraza at short second? Well, that was Booney's decision. Okay, well, who decided IKF at short first? Okay, well, the analytics department won out on that vote. Everyone needs to get a win. It's like, well, what's going on?
Good game.
Yeah. All right, I'm home now. So this is perfect.
Perfect. Pregame show and event tomorrow. It'll be streamed. I will have fun. We will have fun. So
it'll be worth checking out.
Yeah, at best we get to talk about the offseason and how crazy it gets. Yankees are like 2 moves away from a full retool. I know they don't rebuild, but
yeah, if things go how you'd expect the game 4 to go at this point with Lance McCullers and our hitting, maybe we just do some Q&A. Maybe who's the first baseman next year? We'll get research on it.
DJ.
Maybe we'll just play some good tunes and like have a 7th inning square dance or something. I don't know.
Only.
Yeah, that's true.
DJ at first. Rizzo gone. If Judge goes to a new team, he's gone. You package JD with Gleyber the same way that JD got packaged with IKF, and they're traded. So it leaves you with a center fielder, no corner outfielders, a DH, and a bunch of utility infielders that are young. It's wild to think about. But let's play tomorrow.
Let's play tomorrow.
Go Yanks. Tell him, Grams.
Go Yankees.